All right. Hello there. I'm trying something new. I've seen a lot of people making tier lists recently of their favorite horror franchises and movie franchises. And I figured, you know what? I can do that. I'm a lazy sod, so even I can do this. It's quite easy and not very time consuming. So let's just do this. And I'll jump in and go for the most obvious franchise first, which is Friday the 13th, of course. And if people like this, then I'll record some more. So let's just go for it. We got a lot of movies to go through here. I just grabbed whatever was on Tier Maker. So I'm just going to go A, B, C, D, E. A being virtually perfect, E being virtually worthless. And we'll just place these as I see fit. The original Friday is going to go, I think, in C tier or B tier for me. I really like it, but it's not my favorite. We'll put it in B for now, I think. I came to it really late in the game. Still really enjoy it. I think it's a very good movie. It's the whole template for what was to follow, but it's not my favorite. In fact, I think part two built on what was successful with the first one. It's almost like a remake of the first one, but even better, in my opinion. Adult Jason, you've got. Uh, I think the camp is a lot more atmospheric in the second one. I don't know how to put it, but they're both great movies, but part two takes the cake, and I absolutely love part two with my whole heart. It's still one of my all time favorites. So for me, that is a very clear A tier movie. Part three, not the best one, but it's also not the worst of the bunch. It's a very classic Friday because it's the first one where you have Jason with the mask stalking teenagers and killing them at Camp Crystal Lake. It's actually one of the only movies, when you think about it, that really follows the formula to a T. So I'm gonna put that in C tier for now. It's a very ugly movie. Like it's shot in California. It's they shot 3D cameras. It always bothered me how that movie looks, and the acting is some of the worst in the entire franchise. But it's still a fun popcorn movie, stalk and chase movie. So yeah, part four. Pretty obviously, this is top tier. It's up there as a lot of people's favorite, and I am inclined to agree. It's very dark. It's very well made. Um, really knocked it out of the park at the time. So yeah, I'm gonna put it in A tier, but below part two, I think. I'm still partial to part two. There's something about it that I just absolutely love. So yeah. Part five, a new beginning. Oh man, now we're getting into the weeds. Oh man. I think this is still C tier for me in this scale. I probably should have had a couple of more levels here. I probably should have had at least 6 levels because then you get more nuanced answers. But whatever, I'll keep it with these five for now. Um, it's either D tier or low C tier for me, but I think I'm gonna keep it in C tier because I'm partial to it. It's not a great movie, but it's still fun in its own way. It's so trashy and sleazy and horrible, but I appreciate it more now, I think, than I used to. So C tier it is. Part six is a obvious A tier for me. But the problem is these three movies here, part two, four, and six, they always kind of switch places in my head. So I'm not 110% sure where I'd put six. Um, but I think most of the time, yeah, it's 2 or 6 for me. They kind of switch places as the goat, the best one. Um, and I think part 6 is going to land right in the middle today. This is how I, generally speaking, view these three. Um, but they are, I mean, pretty much neck and neck. They're very different movies in tone and style, but they're all great in their own way. I do remember watching part 4 when I was very, very young, and that is probably the one that left the biggest impression on me because it's so dark and it's so, like, it gets under your fingernails, so to speak. All right, part 7. Uh, you know what? I was never huge on part 7, to be perfectly honest. So it's, again, it's probably C tier or D tier. Um, I love Kane Hodder. The special effects are incredible, but the movie is just censored and hacked up to shit. And it's another one. I came to it late. I discovered this one really late in the game. If I hadn't, I would probably be a lot more partial to it. But I'm honestly not. I'm not that fond of part 7 overall. Like it's fine to me, but it's not that special. And I think the whole Jason versus Carrie thing is I don't know. I don't know. It's not my favorite thing in the franchise. It's just you can tell they're starting to get more gimmicky and things are starting to kind of go off the rails a little bit. So, um 5 or 7? That's a good question, honestly. Like 7 has a lot going for it, but I'm more used to watching A New Beginning. I'm more partial to that one, I think, honestly, which is weird because Kane Hodder looks so fucking amazing in that costume, and yeah, it's got a lot going for it. But I think if part 7 was not so censored and so cut down to bits, I would probably like it more. But I'm actually gonna leave it right down here at the bottom of C tier for now. I hate to say it, but yeah. Part 8. Now we're getting into the weeds. Now it's gonna get controversial because I do not hate part 8. I know a lot of people do. I don't. I think it's a hell of a lot of fun. Like it's stupid and it's dated and it's like they're never in New York at all. They're mostly on a boat, a cruise ship. But I would probably still put part 8 somewhere around here. Like, yeah, probably right there, to be honest. Like, I enjoy it. It's not great, but I do honestly enjoy that movie. So, like, it's stupid, but it's what I grew up with. So, and Ken Hodder is always great, no matter if he's on a boat or in New York. So, all right, Jason Goes to Hell. Are we talking theatrical or unrated cut here? Because I always tend to watch the unrated cut if I can. I prefer that version for sure. It's just gorier and nastier, and I really enjoyed that about it. So, but if we're going theatrical with this one, then it's D tier, I think. It's not, I don't think it's completely horrendously awful, but I think it's bad. Like, it's definitely not all the body hopping, uh, manly shaving bizarreness is not good. That's not one I tend to reach for if I feel like watching a Friday movie. So, all right, Jason X for me is uh it's yeah, it's gonna go in E tier. For me, that is bottom of the barrel. Unfortunately, um Kane Hodder's in it. He's great. There are some cool kills in that movie, I think, but yeah, it's still pretty horrendously bad, I think, and not in a good way. I know there are a lot of people who actually enjoy it in a more ironic sort of way. I totally get that. I think that's absolutely fine, but for me, it doesn't do much. In fact, it's probably the hardest one of all to sit through. So, Jason X, sorry. Fun kill sequences, but that's about it. Like even some of the makeup designs in that movie are just the worst. Sorry. So, all right, Freddy versus Jason, also quite a bad one. Uh, it's gonna have to go. Where does that go? I think it's right around here. Yeah, yeah, right around there. It's really quite bad, but I don't think it's the absolute worst. But it is like a 2000s music video, which is sad. I wish Freddy vs. Jason had been like a horror movie, like a horror movie. I'm glad it exists, and I'm sad that Ken Hodder was not in it, but it is so 2000s. It is so painfully, horribly Ronnie Yu 2000s in every way. So I thought it was the coolest fucking thing in the world when I was 15, but I'm not 15 anymore. So down it goes. And the remake, 2009, controversial Platinum Dunes remake. This has been the only one we've had for 13 years, and we're about to get the series, which is going to be very interesting, from Brian Fuller, prequel series. Definitely looking forward to that. I'm cautiously optimistic. We'll see how that goes. But the remake from 2009 is, I think it's actually kind of okay. Like, it's not as bad for me as Jason X or Freddy vs. Jason or some of this stuff. So it's somewhere in C tier. But where in C tier? That is a good question. I think I like it more than part 7, actually, if I'm horrendously honest. Do I like it more than A New Beginning? I don't know. I don't know. Like, they're both. I like the viciousness of the remake. I like Derek Mears as Jason. I thought he did a fantastic job. But the script is so horrendously stupid, and the characters are just so obnoxious, and it's so slick, and I don't know. Like, it doesn't feel like a horror movie. It feels more like a late 2000s music video sort of thing. Yeah, I think we'll put it right here. So that is my current. Now, this is my gut feeling. I'm not over analyzing this, but this is sort of my gut feeling on the overall franchise as a whole. So part 2, King of the Hill. Part 6 and 4, they're right up there with it. Like, they're neck and neck. Part 1, great movie. Not quite up to par with these 3, in my opinion. Part 3, not great. Totally watchable. Same goes for parts 8 and 5. Remake, it's pretty weak, but I can sit through that. Same with part 7. They're kind of like, yeah, I can watch this. It's not horrendously bad, but it's not great. Freddy vs. Jason and Jason Goes to Hell. This is where things start getting really uncomfortable. And Jason X is just the bottom of the pit for me. So that is my quick shot tier list for the Friday the 13th franchise. Thank you for watching this. Hope you've enjoyed it, and let me know if you want me to do this again. All right. Have a good one. Bye.